This is going to be one of my last Freetrade portfolio updates just like this. There has been a lot of changes over the past month, and in this video I'm going to be explaining them all. So in terms of the world of investing and finance, within the past month, the Footsie 250 and the S&P 500 are both up over 4%. This is in response to the Federal Reserve in the United States saying that they are expecting to decrease the interest rates over the period of next year. However, in the UK, things are slightly different, with the Bank of England saying that the interest rates are not going to be lowered anytime soon. However, that hasn't stopped the market sentiment from being very optimistic. And as a result, pretty much every single stock that was down throughout the past few months is on an incline. So how has this affected my Freetrade portfolio? In this video, I'm going to show you all the changes that have been happening recently. So what I'm going to do in this video is to show you my general investment account and also my stocks and shares ISA. And if you stay throughout the video, I'm going to show you the big change that is happening to my stocks and shares ISA going forward, and how I'm going to use this portfolio update to update you on everything that's going on my Freetrade account and also my channel. So you may notice while I'm scrolling through this general investment account, there is absolutely no company that is in profit here. Everything is red. And I've done this purposely because I've actually sold out of every company that was even remotely in the green. This is because I have decided to move all my money away from Freetrade and into the two platforms that I completely recommend over Freetrade. I don't think Freetrade is really worth your money anymore as a beginner investor or anyone with a lot of experience in investing within the UK. I've made a separate video on why I'm leaving Freetrade, but in this video, if you haven't watched that, I'm gonna go through some of the specifics. The first thing was that I was paying for Freetrade Plus, which is £11.99 a month, gone up from £9.99 a month before. I was paying that for about 2 years now. I did enjoy the platform, and for me it was working out. However, I've realized that the other two platforms, which are namely InvestEngine and Trading 212, two very different but very good platforms. Links are in the description down below, and I will highly recommend, if you are a Freetrade user and paying that amount, to actually look into these other options, both completely free ISAs too. So now I've actually downgraded to Freetrade Standard, which is £5.99 a month, and that is only because I have a stocks and shares ISA with them currently. But if you stay on to the rest of the video, I will show you exactly what is happening with that. So first, let's look at the insight for my general investment account. And if you've seen any of these Freetrade updates before, you know that my general investment account has been a terrible bunch of choices that I made in 2021 when I had no idea how to invest or anything about investing, and I just picked a bunch of random companies which I'm still paying for. In either case, compared to the market, which is the Footsie All World ETF, I am up over the past month, basically as a money weighted rate of return, up by 1.55%. Now, this isn't a very useful comparison metric because you can see over the maximum period that I've had this general investment account as a money weighted rate of return, I am down by 12.38%. This doesn't even include the two bankruptcies that I've had, so actually realistically I'm down by more. I am more than happy to tell you about my losses as well as my wins. So if I go into my account, you can see I only have 13 pence, and that was a recent cash interest payment that was paid. So I'm not really keeping anything as cash. If I have any significant amount of cash, I will straight away withdraw that and start putting it into my Trading 212 invest account. So as you can see, over the past month, I am up by £281, and you can see a big dip here. Essentially, I've been selling out of some of my holdings and actually withdrawing them. So that does kind of skew the results here. As you can see, over the past 3 months, I am down by £379, so quite a big loss there. Over the past 6 months, down by £812, so this portfolio hasn't really been doing well at all. You can see that back in July, I was at a peak of around £11,500. And over the maximum time period, as you can see, Freetrade used to be my preferred account, and I had over £35,000 in my general investment account. Now it stands at £9,927, and overall, I am down by £2,358, not including those two bankruptcies I spoke about earlier. So let's go through all my holdings and kind of talk about them and what I think is going to happen to them in the future. So the first is Intel, and I have only 0.1 shares in that. Over the past month, Intel is up by a nice 10%. In my portfolio, however, they are down by 20.49%. So that is a loss of £1.02, nothing too serious here. And what I still like about Freetrade is their user interface and how easy it is to find out how much you have in terms of pounds and dollars, because obviously Intel being an American company, this was originally bought in dollars. When I do downgrade to Freetrade free account, once I deal with my ISA, the FX fees are going to be close to 1%. So yeah, I'm not looking too forward to that. But anyway, based on Freetrade's analyst ratings and estimates, 65% are neutral, 23% are favorable, and as a price target, they reckon that at the highest point, Intel could be seeing $56 per share. So I bought Intel back in the day in 2021 at a price of $63.64. So I don't think it's going to go back to that anytime soon, but nothing really is too certain about anything in the stock market. So next I have CSN ADR, and I have 1.76 shares in them. Over the past month, up by a nice 25.28%. In my portfolio, however, they are still down by a big 18.68%, but that is only a loss of £1.14. Based on Freetrade's analyst ratings, remember these are just Freetrade analyst ratings, they don't really mean anything, take them with a pinch of salt. 33% are favorable, 50% are neutral, and 17% are unfavorable. As you can see, this is only really based on 12 analysts, so again, like I'm saying, these are just a quick at a glance figures. If you do want to do your research, please use more advanced tools, but for the purpose of this video, we're just going to be looking at these. There are no analyst price targets for this company, however. So next I have Xinguan Real Estate ADR. I have 4.2 shares in them. They did over the last year have a stock dilution. I actually had 42 shares in them. So yeah, this company's not doing too well at all. Down by a big 7% over the past month. As you can see by my portfolio, they are down by a massive 91.65%. That is a loss of £95, which isn't too bad, but again, who wants to be down by 91%? And there are no analyst ratings for this company. So next I have Satorna Al-Khalfa Global Focused ETF. Over the past month, they are up by 2.78%, so that is not too bad at all. In my portfolio, however, they are down by 3.66%, and that is a loss of £2.39. There's no analyst ratings for any ETFs, and if you have realized here, this is an exclusive stock just for the Standard and Plus members. However, when I downgrade to the free account, I should still have this holding, but I only will be able to sell it. Now, I want to sell this out as soon as it hits profit, and then I'm going to transfer this money into my Trading 212 Invest account. So actually right now, I'm going to set a sell limit. So all I have to do is press sell, and then I want to go to limit order here, and once it hits £6.54, or if it does at all, I will be able to sell it straight away at that, if there is someone willing to actually sell me it at that particular time. What I really like about Freetrade, and what I wish Trading 212 did, is when you did set a price, it will tell you how much it is above the actual price right now, so the latest price. There has been once or twice a time where I actually put in the wrong amount in Trading 212, and it ended up in me losing money because it didn't really tell me what the current price was. I love this about Freetrade, even though I'm going to be leaving the platform. I do think Freetrade really got it right when it came to simple investing. But anyway, I'm going to press continue and sell all my shares at that price, and review order and create sell limit, put in my password, and voila. It's as simple as that. So next I have Clover Health, a massive loss for me. I have 85.3 shares. Over the past month, they are down by 2.93%, and they are actually under $1, which means they might be delisted quite soon from the New York Stock Exchange. In my portfolio, you can see they are down by around 93% in dollar amount, so that's a loss of $1,161 or £828. Absolutely doing really bad. I hate this company. I have no idea why I invested in them in the first place. However, analysts are 25% favorable, basically just one analyst saying they're favorable and 3 analysts saying they're neutral. Price targets could be as high as $2, which is a lot less than what I paid for. As you can see, I paid $14.60 per share for Clover Health back in 2021 when I had no idea how the stock market worked. So next I have 41 shares in Aston Martin. Over the past month, they're down by 7.67%, so not doing too good at all. In my portfolio, they're down pretty much 90%. That is a loss of £753, doing absolutely horribly. Based on 10 analysts, 5 are favorable, 4 are neutral, and 1 is basically unfavorable, with a price target of £5.50, which is a lot higher than what they are now, but still, compared to what I bought it for, absolutely looking terrible. So I bought them for £20.44 a share, which is actually really sad to hear. So next I have AGM Holdings, and I have 103 shares with them. Over the past month, they are up by 10%, which is actually pretty surprising. In my portfolio, however, they are down by 84%, a loss of £750, which is really hard to stomach, and there are no analyst ratings for them. So next, Metro Bank, 581 shares in them. Over the past month, they are down by 13%, looking really bad. bad. That is a loss of 73.3%. That's a £580 loss. Absolutely terrible. And based on analyst ratings, no one is really thinking Metro Bank is going to get back to what they used to be. 33% neutral and 67% unfavorable. At the upper bound, however, kind of contradicting. £6 for the upper bound, which is a lot higher than even what I bought it for. And as you can see, that is a 1,548% increase. I don't think that's very likely that it would reach that anytime soon, given the fact that there is a lot of controversy behind Metro Bank. So next I have Cognite Software, 43 shares in them. Over the past month, they are up by a huge 53%, which is actually very surprising. In my portfolio, however, this just shows how bad they were doing. They are down by 74%. That's a loss of £666. Very devilish. Analysts, based on just 3, 1 thinks they're favorable and 2 thinks they're not. And upper bound as a prediction, they could be seeing $9.50 per share. I bought them at a humongous $28.11 per share. So next I have around 20 shares in Fastly. Past month up by 16%, which is pretty good. In my portfolio, however, down by 66.87%. That is a loss of £598. Based on 12 analysts, 33% are favorable for this company, 50% are neutral, and 17% unfavorable. As an upper bound, maybe they could hit $26.50, which is still less than half of what I paid for back in 2021. So next I have a ridiculous amount of shares in Alba Mineral. That is 345,823 shares. A third of a million shares in them. Over the past month, they are up by 8.92%. That is still a loss in my portfolio by 65.41%, which is a loss of £614. Like you see, this whole portfolio full of absolute losses, and there are no analysts' price targets or ratings here. Next, I have 6 shares in Alibaba. Over the past month, they have dropped by around 7%. In my portfolio, they are down by around 64.26%. That is a loss of £638. However, analysts are quite favorable for them. Based on 45 analysts, 87% are favorable and 13% are neutral. No analyst targets here. Next, I have 33 shares in Shoals, up overall by 2.53%. As you can see, there was a huge shoot up here and then a bit of a decline. In my portfolio, they're down by 52.9%, which is a loss of £473. And analysts are pretty favorable for them, 82% favorable and 12% neutral, with a price projection at the higher bound of around $42 per share. Now, I already have a limit sell for that, so if it does reach my price target, I'll be very happy. $42 will be very nice, so I'm not too worried about Shoals here. Next, I have 41 shares in Corsair, and over the past month, up by 13.6%, so quite good there. However, overall in my portfolio, down by 51%. That is a loss of £512. Analysts are kind of favorable, 57% favorable and 43% neutral. On the upper bound, thinking around $21 will do the trick. And that is still a lot less than what I paid for it back in 2021. So next, my last individual stock, 6.66 shares in Baidu. Over the past month, up by 4.74%. As you can see, peaked on 27th of November. In my portfolio, however, down by 33%, so that is a £295 loss. Based on analyst ratings of 33 analysts, pretty favorable at 88% being favorable and 12% neutral. No analyst price targets here. So my last holding is in the Footsie 250. I have 224 shares, and over the past month, they're up by 2.47%. The ex-dividend date just passed, so that means I would get around 20-something p per share, which is going to be nice to see as a dividend. In my portfolio, they are only down by 0.6%, which is a £39.75 loss. So again, another limit sell when I hit profit and take out all this money into my Trading 212 invest account. Currently, the dividend yield for the Footsie 250 is at a 3.52% yield based on Freetrade, but the latest figures can always be found online. So that basically sums up my Freetrade portfolio. And the next thing I'm going to show you is my stocks and shares ISA. So this is my stocks and shares ISA, and the value I'm very happy with is £54,958. So since starting my general investment account with Freetrade, I learned about investing and then realized that what I was doing was completely silly, and so I invested more heavily in ETFs instead. And as a result, since investing back in 2021, as you can see, that was around about the same time when I was making those stupid trades back in my general investment account, I am up by nearly £15,000 investing almost solely in just exchange traded funds such as the S&P 500 and the Footsie 250. As you can also see, all of it is in cash right now, and what I've done is actually send a transfer request for all of this money, so around £55,000, into an InvestEngine ISA. My current ISA is with Trading 212, however this ISA, which is tax years 2021 and 2022 ISA, is going to be transferred into InvestEngine. So this will take about 6 weeks to complete. Since requesting the transfer, I have sold off some of the holdings that I had in the Footsie 250 and the S&P 500. Even though InvestEngine do allow in-specie transfer, I just thought the prices that they were at now were my targets that I had set before. And so now I have them all in cash and I'm happy to do that. And I'm quite happy to transfer all of this from cash into a new stocks and shares ISA for my InvestEngine account. Now, if I go into portfolio performance, I just want to compare to the market. So I was quite lucky and I did follow a certain principle that I had within myself in order to, kind of get these gains. But again, just because I beat the market maybe for the past 2 years doesn't mean that I'm going to consistently keep beating it. And I'm only investing in ETFs anyway, which track the market. So the only reason I'm above the market is because at certain times I was not invested, as you can see here, when the market was going down. And what I seem to be doing all the time is just selling everything and then buying everything at a different price, which is essentially lump sum investing. And I find that lump sum investing pays off a lot more than dollar cost averaging. So whenever I hit a price target, I sell everything, which in some cases is like £50,000 worth of actual money. And then I put them again when I feel like it is a better price. Essentially, that is me trying to time the market, but until now I have kind of beat the market. As you can see, since I've started investing, which was back in July 2021, my money weighted rate of return is 51.35%. So that hasn't even been a full 3 years yet. And if it was a full 3 years and I was getting 51.35%, that is over 17% per year, which is absolutely bonkers, beats any index that you can find. I have been lucky and I don't actually recommend people trying to time the market. And as such, because I have a lot less time to look at the markets every day, I am just transferring the bulk amount from this account into my InvestEngine account, which makes it really hard to time the market. So I'm not going to touch that money at all. However, in my Trading 212 portfolio, I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue to try and beat the market. If you've stayed this far, then you hopefully wouldn't mind me rambling about a big change that I'm thinking about in terms of my YouTube account. I am thinking of actually changing the branding to just a simple change, so making it Dr. Jubair's Finance, because technically I do have a PhD. Even before I started this channel, I did have my PhD, which technically makes me a doctor. Even though my PhD is not in finance, I was thinking of just making it Dr. Jubair's Finance. So by the time this video is out, the branding would have already changed, but I don't know. I'm kind of speaking to myself at this point. I really like these portfolio updates because they're quite chatty and I really appreciate people that do watch them. My Freetrade portfolio update isn't as popular as my Trading 212 update, but I do appreciate every single one of you that actually stays to the end. So make sure to check out some of my other videos and I'll see you in the next video.